All right, race fans, welcome back to Evolution Racing Network. Tonight's coverage of the Corn Country Combined Chaos 150 here on Thursday Night Throwdown Truck Series. Tonight, we already had the ARCA race here earlier tonight. It was a barn burner. Not surprised here. We're going to have about the same race here tonight in the Truck Series. Alongside me for this broadcast is Ryan Ezel, joining me in the Evolution Racing Network booth. Ryan, what are you looking forward to here in the truck race here tonight?
What's going on, Michael? This is going to be a fun one. We just watched an ARCA race go so long. Justin Malarkey pulled out an incredible win with Clinton Sneed right there on his tail. Just didn't quite have enough. I'm looking for a lot of hard charging trucks tonight. I'm looking for a lot of fun, and I'm looking for some exciting racing.
Yeah, we We got a couple drivers here doing double duty here tonight from the ARCA Series. I see Clinton Sneed in this field. See Torrey Thompson in this field. Had a little early incident in the ARCA race. Able to get back out here for the Truck Series. Hopefully his luck turns around for him here tonight. Looks like we're going to have about 16 trucks in this field here tonight, Ryan. The big difference is 150 laps for the trucks versus 100 for the ARCA cars. And their fuel run is going to be a little bit small in these trucks. So I suspect pit strategy is going to come into play. What do you think as far as tire wear here in the trucks, Ryan?
Oh, it's going to be big. This is Iowa. So, let's just talk about the track for a moment, and let's talk about how this track is. It's a little bit less than a mile. It's 0.88 miles, if I'm not mistaken. And the temperature here tonight, it's a little warm. It's 72 degrees, little clouds in the air. It's going to be a very unique experience for these guys that are trying to get out there, get up front quick, because track position is going to be key. Because once those tires settle in and everybody gets on an equalized heat cycle, what you're going to see is where you are is where you're going to be. If these guys really get out there early in a run, Mike, they are going to burn their tires up, and you're going to see them falling like a rock through the field. Those that are learn to manage those tires are going to be the ones at the end.
Yeah, and running a couple of laps here. The trucks seem a little tight here. I'm wondering if they're going to free up a little bit over the long run. We didn't see that in the ARCA Series race. As you mentioned with tire wear here, 85 laps of fuel. They're going to have to make one stop. Leaves a little bit of free room there on the lower side, lap 65 to 75, which is the halfway point. You might see a little bit of undercut for somebody that's going to be able to maintain that tire wear here throughout a long run. So, as we talked about, pit strategy may come into play here tonight. It may not, but ARCA Series, we saw two different drivers. One led for the first 43, 44 laps, and then another one, the pole sitter came back, took the lead about lap 43, 44, was able to maintain it. Long green flag run there, no cautions in that race. And with these series this year, it is 0 fast repairs, which was the same as last year in the trucks.
Yeah, and so you're going to have to manage your equipment. As you see, practice has now come to a close. So it's all about getting out there, putting two of your best laps down consistently without going out the truck, without even getting close to touching that wall, because they will DQ that lap, and you don't want that to not count. So these guys are going to get out there, push it to the absolute limit. And, man, I am excited to see, as we already see some guys coming out there. You got Mitch Ellis and Sam Jones right here getting out there and starting to throw down. What do you think the advantage is to doing qualifying as soon as the session opens versus towards the end?
Well, with the track temps down a little bit from the ARCA Series, looks like it's falling a little bit. I don't really see, unless there's a huge change in cloud cover here. Looks like a little bit of shade there off the coming onto the backstretch. So that goes away a little bit later on in qualifying. These guys might have a little bit of an advantage here and now. With single truck qualifying, it's not quite the open qualifying setup session. So just go out here early, get your qualifying time, do the best you can, and get set, get strapped in for the truck. For 150 laps here. it's all going to be about the long run here. Qualifying's great. We saw a couple grooves here in the ARCA series. I expect the same thing here tonight in the truck race. Looks like right now Wayne Lowe is going to have the top time right now with the 24.066 for the trucks that are right on the track.
That is a great time, and I tell you what, I'd be hard pressed to see if somebody beats that. You know, we just got through. You know, he's coming back in and he's finishing his second lap. I think he might actually pick up just a tick here. Yeah, you know, that's going to be a hard time to really press. So we're just going to have to see how this thing plays out tonight. I'm super excited. I'm excited to be here for Thursday Night Throwdown, and I'm ready to get these trucks roaring.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race here again. Just like the ARCA series, I don't expect anything different here. About the same number of trucks, a couple different trucks. I'm curious to see if they're going to get single file, kind of like they did. And right now we're looking at the guy here, another podium finish earlier tonight, Clinton Sneed, who's known to put on that long run here, able to save some tires. So I'm curious to see what he's learned from that ARCA race coming into this tonight.
I compare him to you, Michael Sheffield. You are one of the best tire management guys I have seen in sim racing, and Clinton Sneed is no different. This guy knows how to manage a car, whether it be a long run, a short run. He knows how to be there in the end. I've watched him run 10th all night, and then all of a sudden, with 20 to go, he's up there battling for the lead. My eye is on Clinton Sneed tonight.
Yeah, a couple of new names this year in the series, Wayne Lowe being one of them. Who's sitting on the pole right now as we run here. So Frank Hughes now is sitting outside pole. That's another name new to us this year. So a lot of these guys early in the season trying to make a name for themselves early as got a long season ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to it, man. This is going to be an exciting season. We're in race 2. We go from a great track to Iowa, one of my favorite tracks, but track position, tire management, it's going to be key tonight.
Yeah, and we talk about the tracks here. Go from here back to another completely different animal next week. We're going to Talladega. Draft package is going to be in full effect in these trucks next week.
You're going to need friends too, Mike. You're going to need somebody to help you next week. Because when you're out here at Talladega, you can't just go out there and run your own race. You got to have some allies on the track.
Yeah, you're going to need allies next week. And, talking about week in and week out, the people you need on your side, your crew chief, your spotter, are going to play a huge effect, not only next week, but this week here tonight in that pit strategy. You're going to need all the help you can get. Whoever is going to be able to capitalize on pit lane here tonight, not make any mistakes, make the right decision as to when to come down pit lane, will be the guy that comes home here on the podium with the win tonight.
Boy, you ain't lying. We got Gabriel Ellison right here on the track. And boy, this is one of the guys that is always a contender, I'm excited to see what he does too, Mike.
Yeah, last season's champion now. He just took away that pole position. No surprise here.
Yeah.
It is great run last week for him. It's no surprise to see him, top of the board every week. And as I mentioned, got some new names here. It looks like qualifying has come to an end here. Take a quick look at your starting grid here. As we just mentioned, Gabriel Ellison is going to be your pole sitter with a 23.819. Outside row will be Wayne Lowe. Timothy Latham will be starting third in the number 5. Always another strong truck to watch out for. Frank Hughes in the number 61 will be rolling off 4th. Rolling off 5th will be Clinton Sneed in the number 49. Rolling off 6th will be John Peel in the number 7. Rolling off 7th will be Dylan Hoffman in the number 15. Rolling off 8th will be Brandon Zimmerman in the number 20.
And rolling off 9th, Mitch Ellison in the 55. 10th, Forrest Bullen in the 2 truck. 11th, Dane Cruz in the 46, contender for last week. 12th, Torrey Thompson in the 88. Sam Jones in 13th in the 45. Dustin Scruggs Rounding out row 7 on the outside in the 921, Landon Condra in the '08 starting 15th, and riding shotgun for the field tonight, Brian Skidmore in the 75 starting 16th.
Yeah, Gabriel Ellison still trying to maintain the pace from last week. Last week's winner. Good battle there last week with him and Dane Cruz and Clinton Snead running up top 3 in the truck series last week. But once again, he's top of the board here. It's anybody's race here tonight. And, tonight they're going to have in the trucks, as we mentioned, there are no fast repairs. There are 3 extra sets of tires here, and a fuel run's going to be about roughly 82 to 87 laps here for that fuel run. So, little mixture here between the ARCA and the truck series, as they're now rolling off pit road and double file. So we should have one pace lap here, and then will be green flag here from Iowa Speedway.
That's right. These guys are going to, and it's the way they always start their races. It will be on green, so the leader does not get a choice on this initial start. Track position is going to be key. We talked about that in pre-race over and over and over. So who is going to really push it for those first 3 or 4 laps to try to get as many positions as they can? We'll have to wait and find out, because we're about to go green. You're about to see that iRacing.com pace truck dip down to pit road on the next lap by. This is going to get interesting.
Now, one thing we saw in the ARCA series, I'm curious to see if we see it here in the trucks here, with the 34 of Wayne Lowe. In the ARCA series, the outside line had the advantage there on the green flag start, just able to maintain a little bit more speed in the top of the corner here. As we noticed, 2 lines, you had a center groove and a top groove there in the ARCA series. So, we got about a half a lap here until we hit the green flag for another exciting race.
Yes, we will. And I'm going to tell you, there's one thing that they don't talk about, and it's hard to see looking from afar, but watch these trucks as they go into one. Right in the middle of the track is a set of bumps, and it will disrupt the balance of that truck so much and knock you right out of your pace, and you will lose all momentum going down that back straightaway.
Very good point there, Ryan. I didn't pick up on earlier, as now the pace truck is off. Gabriel Ellison's going to lead him to the green flag here, and we are underway here from Iowa Speedway for 150 laps here tonight in the truck series.
That's right. And you watch Gabriel Ellison gets a great start and goes out and picks, but watch some of those trucks as you see him go through that corner in one. If you get stuck in that middle groove, you hit those bumps and it throws all the balance off. But right now, it's all Ellison up front, and we've got contact with the 5 truck right behind them with some of the up front running guys. Oh man, we'll have to go back and take a look and see exactly what happened.
Looked like they got a little tight there in the corner. I noticed on the first lap they were a little tight there in the center of 1 and 2. Together they were able to make it by the first time by. That time I'm not sure if the bumps got, the 5 got into the bumps there, or what exactly happened there, as they do make contact about center of the corner there, and looks like it collects maybe
Wayne Lowe and Timothy Latham.
Looks like the 2 truck was turned around in the aftermath here on the backstretch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he got any damage or anything, as you'll see a couple trucks now coming down the pit road here. Going to try to get some damage repaired and hopefully be able to continue. No radiator damage to cause any engine damage here. Let's see who comes down pit road and who stays out.
Yeah, and if you take a look to all the viewers here tonight on Evolution Racing Network, if you take a look across the bottom there, that is our pit road ticker. Anytime any driver is on pit road for any amount of time, you will see it on the ticker below, and it'll also give you a timer as far as how long they've been on pit road. So I'm curious to see Timothy Latham in the 5 truck, Wayne Lowe in the 34, Dustin Scruggs in the 921, and Mitch Ellison. It looks like they're all on pit road. I'm curious to see how many of those guys can get some repairs done. Remember, there is no fast repairs here tonight, so it's whatever repairs they can get done by the crew they have without going a lap down. And remember, this is a short track, less than a mile, so they don't have much time to do repairs on pit road.
This is going to shuffle up your top 5 quite a bit now. as Gabriel Ellison will still be your leader. That's going to pull Frank Hughes up to the outside front row position there. It's going to move John Peel up to third. A guy we saw in the ARCA series tonight lead some laps there, so may have learned something there from the ARCA series for these trucks. Dylan Hoffman will be moved up to fourth, and looks like Brandon Zimmerman will be a fifth place starter here on this restart here, 4 laps into this run from Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, this is that has really taken 2 of the big front runners, Timothy Latham in the 5 and Wayne Lowe in the 34. Wayne Lowe held that top spot in qualifying until the very end when Gabriel Ellison took it. So that's one of the guys that we had our eyes on all night to be a front runner, and that just goes to show in stock car racing, especially in the Camping World trucks, you never know what's going to happen. When is it going to be your day, and when is it not going to be your day? It can go either way, and you always need a little bit of lady luck on your side when it comes to racing.
Yeah, a little luck never hurts anybody here. And, it's still early in the season. You just got to regroup yourself. You're going to have good runs. You're going to have bad runs. You just got to capitalize. Try to run as many laps as you can. Try to get as many points as you can. Don't count yourself out. It's still early in the season. A lot of racing to go. Looks like the lights are off now on the pace truck, so we'll be going green here on lap 6. That's going to give Gabriel Ellison the difference. Going to be from the original start is he's going to be able to go once the pace truck hits pit lane. It's his choice to go at any time. Now, if he does not go before the green flag waves, the outside can pick up speed. But other than that, he's going to have the advantage here. His pace car is going to be rolling off here in just shortly.
That's right. Timothy Latham just rolls off and collects the field. So he is still fighting for another chance at this with severe damage to that truck, but that means he is still in it. And the pace truck is off, and Gabriel Ellison gets a great launch, just like on the original start of this race, and he is gone.
Looks like he maybe caught the 61 a little bit off guard as he was struggling on the outside. Not sure if he just missed the gear, struggling to get up to speed, but that's going to allow John Peel to try to squeeze down to the inside. The 61 machine of Frank Hughes is going to come down and cover that spot to maintain second position. John Peel running in third, and Dylan Hoffman now in the 4th spot as Gabriel Ellison's trying to command a breakaway here.
That's right. Pretty much the entire field is single file with the exception of the 20 truck of Brandon Zimmerman. You see him in your screen there, that dark black and green truck a little further back. He finally gets to tuck in line there and go single file. And I think after that original start with that little dust up with the field, everybody is a little cautious and going, hey, all right, we got a long race. We got 150 laps here at Iowa. Let's just take it easy, take a deep breath, and before we get too hasty, let's just make sure we get several laps under our belt.
Yeah, as we're now coming to, looks like lap 9 now of 150. Still a long ways to go. Pretty much, as you mentioned, everybody's pretty much single file. Couple truck breakaway here in the front by not a lot as of yet, but if it's anything like the ARCA cars, we're going to start to see tire wear come into effect here. About 35, 40 laps in is when I see it really peak its head, and you're going to start to see these trucks really separate from each other, and the guys that are able to save are going to come to the front. Looks like we've got a battle going on back here now around the 6th, 7th position. It looks like Dane Cruz is on the inside.
Yeah,
good 4-truck battle going on back here.
Yeah, you got the 46 and 49 right there battling for 5th, but right behind them, you got a gaggle of 5, 6 trucks with Timothy Latham that was involved in that original dust-up at the tail end of that pack. Everybody, it's like they get single file for a lap and a half or so, and then everybody's just like, all right, I got a faster truck. I got to go, and I got to go now. And that's something we talked about earlier in pre-race. It's all about track position here, but what I'm really interested to see is 20, 30, 40 laps into a run, you will be able to tell who has been sitting there and waiting for the right time to pounce and taking care of their tires.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a battle heating up for third here as Dylan Hoffman is now putting the pressure on John Peel here. Dylan Hoffman at number 15 machine is going to dive into the inside here in 3 and 4. If it's like the ARCA series, John Peel is going to be able to maintain on that high side. Just so hard to get down to the bottom, maintain enough momentum to complete that pass, especially this early in the running with the fresher tires. And as the run goes on, as we saw in that series, the passes will probably become a little bit easier as the 15 of Hoffman pulls back in line. He's running a little bit lower line than John Peel is right now. It's getting him a little bit of a run as you see the 7 kind of slide up towards that wall here. It's just allowing that 15 to be a little bit more free as he's going to dive into the inside this time again at 1 and 2. If he comes up to cover the spot, he will complete the pass for the 3rd position.
That's right. And so Hoffman takes 3rd, John Peel in 4th. And don't forget tonight, folks, this is the DeltaCam.com Thursday Night Throwdown Truck Series edition. Super excited about this season 2. We are only our 2nd race into this season. We were able to broadcast the first back half of their first season. They were gracious enough to invite us back for this season. We're so looking forward to it. Got some great sponsors tonight. Their title sponsor, DeltaCam.com, making some of the best performance camshafts on the market. Check them out at DeltaCam.com on Facebook or their website.
Yeah, great sponsor. 2nd generation veteran-owned business. They've come on board, done great things as their title sponsor. You got Sneak Competition Designs on board again for this season. You got Sim Racers Hub, another great company behind them who's taken over something that a lot of the league admins in our racing are very familiar with, and that's Dan. So already made some updates. So you can check them out at simracerhub.com for all your league related admin responsibilities. A lot of the guys will recognize the site and see the updates that they put in. As we're looking back up front here, Gabriel Ellison still able to maintain right now. Saw a little pressure earlier from the 61 machine of Frank Hughes. He's kind of backed off a little bit. As we mentioned earlier, the 15 machine, Dylan Hoffman, now up to 3rd. 4th is Dane Cruz in that number 49. And John Peel in 7 is kind of drifted back to 5th here. I'm wondering if he's saving a little bit now for a little bit later run, as we're only at 19 laps out of 150 here.
Yeah, I bet you he is, because everybody knows this track, and a lot of these guys ran ARCA earlier tonight, Chef, and they know what the temperament is going to be in any car. This track loves to eat up tires, so they know if they go out there and just push it too far, that they're not going to have anything left after about 25, 30 laps. So the guys that have been just biding their time, you're about to start see them moving closer to the front and making up ground on the leader. Those that haven't, you're going to start seeing them go the opposite direction. And this right now at about lap 20 to 25 is when you really start noticing the field getting spread out.
Yeah, right now is about the time I'm expecting to start to see maybe times change a little bit. As last time by, there were a couple 24.79s in the field, and that was Dustin Scruggs and Dane Cruz, leader about 24.84. So not even a tenth of the difference right now as they run. But as we talked about, as longer as the run goes on, especially coming to that pit window, you're going to see those times really change here. Maybe I expect a tenth, maybe 2 tenths. And later, if it gets a really long run here, we could see even maybe upwards of 3 tenths of a difference here, which would be tremendous at a track like this.
Oh, yeah. And, in the last couple of laps, the fastest lap turn was Frank Hughes with a 23.904. And he is currently running in 2nd place. That's another one of those newcomers that we've seen here recently to the league that has been starting to show a lot of light. And I think people need to be aware of that name, because I think you might see him more and more up front as the season goes on.
Yeah, right now we got a battle heating up. Dane Cruz and Dylan Hoffman now. Dane Cruz is looking on that bottom side of Hoffman, getting a good run off. Hoffman able to capitalize on the high side, but Cruz is able to dive that truck in the corner, and whether he'll be able to complete the pass or not at this stage of the race here, is he's getting a good run off the corner here. Going to have some good momentum coming down the front stretch. He should be able to clear him with the momentum he's carrying. Yes, he's going to clear him here as they come into 1 and 2 this time by.
That's right. And that right there is a product of managing your tires, because if Hoffman had anything for him, he would have pinched him down further on that track and not allowed him to get that runoff on corner exit. But the reality is, if you ain't got enough tire to be able to do that, as you see right behind these two guys, you just saw a beautiful slide job take place. But Hoffman now is maybe falling back a little bit from that tire management. Right behind him, you've got a good little battle with Scruggs and Peel and Clinton Sneed. All three of these guys seems like they've got a newfound a bit of energy, a little spark, if you will, coming in later in this run.
Yeah, Dustin Scruggs is showing in the number 11 paint, scored a 921 coming in. The 7 machine of John Peel slowly falling back. Clinton Sneed, no surprise, pushing his way up towards the front. Great run there by Scruggs, as you mentioned, on that slide job there. Peel tried to do the little cross back over, didn't work, as you see right now. Clinton Sneed working the outside here, coming through 1 and 2. Clinton Sneed should have the advantage here coming down the backstretch with that run on the high side, as all the trucks are pretty much jockeying for position now. Gabriel Ellison is able to pull out now to about a 1 second, just over a second lead. Dane Cruz now, though, a little bit faster than the two trucks in front of him with a 25.03 to a leader's 25.08 and a 25.18 for second. So Dane Cruz really, like you said, managing those tires early, making a push here at lap 30 coming by this time by.
That's right. You know, he's already left Hoffman in the dust, and he is working on that two truck of Frank Hughes and that black and yellow and orange 61 truck. But nobody, I mean nobody, has anything for Gabriel Ellison at this point in the race. Now, everything may change because we are only 30 laps in to 150 laps tonight at Iowa Speedway in the DeltaCam.com Thursday Night Throwdown Truck Series. So we have 15 drivers still on track. Wayne Lowe in the 34, one of the favorites for tonight, started outside front row, has put that truck on the hauler and sent it home for the night. He'll be back next week at Talladega. And I'll tell you what, we talked about it in pre-race, Chef. If you don't have friends, you are going to be in big trouble next week as we go super speedway racing in Talladega. So I'm wondering how this little incident on lap 1 plays out tonight. Will there be any hurt feelings, or are they just going to put that in the past and move forward? But I guarantee you will find out next week at Talladega.
Yeah, these guys are looking forward to Talladega, I'm sure, but that is in the back of their mind right now, as they've still got 120 laps here. You may see some stuff next week at Dega, but it looks like the 46 machine of Cruz has now moved up to second position. So he's slowly gaining his way up towards the front, and you may see lap traffic come into play here, say within maybe the next 20 laps or so. You see Torrey Thompson there, lap traffic moves down out of the way for the leaders. That's one thing with this league. You see a tremendous amount of respect amongst these drivers. Something great to see in our racing is, you know, we've all run a bunch of races, and, you know, some work out your way, some don't. But, you know, I will say one thing with these leagues, they do a tremendous job of picking their talent. It looks like now we've got a battle brewing between, looks like Dylan Hoffman now is going to dive it to the inside of Dustin Scruggs there, or excuse me, I could be backwards here. Dustin Scruggs is going to take the position from Dylan Hoffman, but Dylan Hoffman is battling back on the inside. Dustin Scruggs should have the run here on the top side. Great move by him to get in there and take that slide job, take that position away. He's looking forward now. He's going to try to run down those top two trucks.
Yeah, you're starting to see a different set of numbers up front versus about that 5th, 6th, 7th position. These guys are starting to show their talent, and they're starting to show their level of being able to hold on to tire management, because Scruggs, Hoffman, Sneed, Cruz, all of these guys didn't start in the first couple of rows. They started a little further back, but they have been able to manage their tires as we are now crossing into lap 37. And, I'm getting word right now. I'm hearing from one of the pit road reporters, Sheffield, that Frank Hughes, one of our front runners, has parked it. He has parked that truck on pit road. And here's the reality of it, guys. This is a simulation. We all love it. We're all very competitive, but he's having some very serious storms in his area, his neck of the woods, and having some technical issues, but at the same token, trying to make sure him and his family are safe. So hope you stay safe, Frank, and we'll be thinking about you.
Yeah, and this early in the run, as you were talking about, Dane Cruz is about a tenth faster that time by than your leader. As we're now looking at lap number 39, expect pit cycles about halfway, 75. So I'm thinking you might see a couple guys come early at 67-ish. See how far they're going to be able to push it here. About an 82 to 87 lap run here. As we run through the running order real quick, we got Gabriel Ellison as your leader. Dane Cruz now cruises his way up to second. Third is Dustin Scruggs. Fourth is Dylan Hoffman. Fifth is Clinton Sneed. Sixth is John Peel. Brandon Zimmerman, seventh. Eighth, Landon Condra. Ninth is Forrest Bullen. Timothy Latham is 10th. 11th is Mitch Ellison. 12th is Sam Jones. 13th is Brian Skidmore. A couple laps down is Torrey Thompson at 14th. 15th is Frank Hughes. And looks like Wayne Lowe, as you mentioned, has pulled off the track.
That's right. So that leaves 14 drivers still fighting for it here tonight. We'll have to see it. One of the guys I really got my eyes on tonight, Chef, is that 46. You've mentioned it over and over and over again, but man, he is really hunting down. Got within 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds now of the leader. And as you said earlier, these guys are going to start contending with lap traffic. Will that be a factor tonight, or do you think after the pit cycle, people will kind of disperse where they are?
I'm not sure how much lap traffic is going to play into effect here. Looking at the times, Brian Skidmore's back a little bit here. Looks like he's got a little damage on the right side of that truck when I glanced at a little while back. Gabriel Ellison is closing in a little bit. We're a little bit over halfway, I would say, on this fuel run here. And as we mentioned earlier, the times have pretty much settled out between him and Dane Cruz. Dustin Scruggs was a little faster that time by. So top three running about the same times now. We'll have to see how, with the tires over the next 10 to 15 laps, who's going to be able to show their hand here for the last run here tonight.
Do you think anybody will actually take this like they did in ARCA all the way to the end of a fuel run?
Or
do you think they'll pit a short pit it a little bit to get tires because there's such a drastic difference between the beginning and the end of a run?
Yeah, it's a drastic difference here. I think that whoever's going to capitalize, it's going to be all about timing. A good undercut. You can't overdo the undercut, though, because what advantage you have for a few laps is going to go away as soon as the leaders come back in. The advantage is going to shift. So you'll be able to cut a little bit of time, but, there's only a certain amount of run you're going to be able to get on a set of tires. So it's all about knowing that run. And, with as much practice as these guys put into the week, all we can do is sit up here and spectate because these guys know exactly what they're doing in these trucks.
Oh, yeah. It's so much fun to sit here and do that Monday morning armchair quarterback, to sit back and go, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. But these guys are really putting it all on the line. You see, Ellison is starting to pick up just a couple of tenths more of a gap. Cruz had knocked it down to about a 1.4 second deficit over Gabriel Ellison. But Ellison's starting to pick it up now to almost a 2 second difference between first and second. Man, I think he's got that truck on rails tonight, and barring some crazy circumstances, this is his race to lose.
Yeah, Gabriel Ellison showing a dominant hand here, continuing, from last week as we run right now, coming to lap 49, almost a third way through this race here tonight. Dane Cruz, like we mentioned, he's up 9 positions. The biggest mover so far, though, is Dustin Scruggs in that 3rd position, as he's still trying to charge his way to the front. Just like before, all 3 top times are well within a tenth of each other here. Actually, the top 4, Clinton Sneed now running in 5th here, is pretty much where he started on the grid here tonight. We talk about him all the time with the run here. I'm curious to see, how this is going to play. If this will play into his hand. We mentioned Dustin Scruggs is your biggest mover of the race so far, who's in that number 11 truck tonight. As we run right now, lap 51. I just talked about Gabriel Ellison now. The gap of about 3.7 seconds.
Yeah, and these guys are really starting to spread out throughout about 3/4 of the track, Sheffield. Almost the entire track's just nice and evenly spread out. None of these guys are really, really pushing each other. I think the closest battle on the track would probably be about half a second. That would be Dylan Hoffman and Clinton Sneed for 4th and 5th there. So you really don't have a lot of close battles. Everybody's settling in for the long run here.
Yeah, everybody's trying to settle in now. I'm sure there's a lot of chatter going on amongst teams and spotters and crew chiefs talking about the pit window, talking about when do you want to come, how do the tires feel. And, there's one thing we didn't chance to talk about in the ARCA series because didn't see a lot of pit movement there, but these guys are going to come in. They're going to complete their pit cycles. They're going to get their information in for their crew chief. After the first run, look at the tire wear. Determine how hard they push it. Where can they push it harder and how the truck feels. And any damage, if they've got any damage here, is going to be a huge factor here for the rest of this race.
Yeah, you're right. And you're starting to see some guys do, some of the guys that were a little further back in the field starting to do some of those early pit stops like Brian Skidmore, Sam Jones. Torrey Thompson is, multiple laps down, but Brian Skidmore and Sam Jones back there starting to do, and you start to see that they are getting around this track pretty quick because they are on those fresh, Goodyear tires there, and that's making it a little bit easier. But what's the fuel window here, Sheffield?
About 82 to 87 laps, give or take a little bit. It's about a 20 lap run there. Could be upwards of, squeeze it out. I would say you could get 93, 94 on the top side, depending. And, as these tires wear and the run goes on, that mileage, fuel mileage is going to get better because you're going to have to stay off the gas that much longer here. So I'm curious to see if anybody stretches it, how far do they stretch it out?
Yeah, and that's going to be a deciding factor here because if somebody could really go that 92, 93, if they're really babying and feathering that throttle and not pushing their truck to the nth degree here, they're starting to hit their fuel window now. So this is where they could pit once and anticipate no more cautions. Pit once now and make it to the end of the race because we're doing 150 laps. So we're about 92, 93 laps to go in this race. So now is where you start to see who's going to throw what kind of strategy in there. You got some that are going to just push it until the thing runs dry. Do you have somebody that's going to try to undercut it and do the short pit? We'll have to keep a close eye on that and see how that plays out.
Yeah, Dustin Scruggs now has been shaving a little bit of time off of Dane Cruz here. The last couple laps, it was upwards of a second. Now he's got it to about 8.5 tenths here. So he's really got that truck tuned in now, 59, almost 60 laps into the race here. As he continually makes his charge up towards the front, as we mentioned earlier, He's up 11 positions, but right in front of him, Dane Cruz is up 9 positions from the start here, making a good run here. The question is going to be when these guys start taking tires and coming to pit lane, when is the leader going to come the next lap to eliminate that undercut? Or has he got a set strategy and he's going to stick to it? So that's going to be an interesting factor here.
There's two ways this could go. You got to either bank on, you got to literally sit there as a team between your crew chief and yourself as the driver. You got to bank on when and if a caution is going to come. And that's how these guys, a lot of them are going to start playing their strategy. Somebody like Dane Cruz that, was working his way all the way up to 1.4 seconds within, fighting distance of the leader. Now, all of a sudden, he's starting to fall back. He's over 3 seconds back from the leader and now under fire from Dustin Scruggs. So is it a guy like him that knows, from based on what we see, it looks like his tire fall off is getting drastic. So does he want to pit now and hope that no cautions come? And then hope also that Gabriel Ellis and Dustin Scruggs stay out for 10 or 15 more laps. Because while they're out there on these slower lap times, he is making up ground by taking a fresh set of shoes.
Well, if it was me sitting in that second position right now, I would, if I'm at this far in the run, I would wait till Scruggs got by me. I don't want to take a chance of going down the pit road now, showing my strategy, allowing him to come in at the same time as well. So what advantage I would get, I would lose right off the bat there, as you want to be a little variance there with the other guys you're running with to try your strategy hand here. As the 11 now of Dustin Scruggs is going to be battling to the inside. They come in 3 and 4. Curious to see how long of a battle it'll take, as the 11 looks like he's going to be able to get by pretty easily there, coming to the front straightaway here for lap number 65. And they are about 4.6 seconds right now, 4.5 seconds back from Gabriel Ellison, who's just steadily running away with this race.
Yeah, and Brian Skidmore just came in not too long ago, about 3 laps ago, and got a fresh set of tires. And you can see he is running about a half to a second faster than the rest of the field. So you can see what a difference a fresh set of shoes is. Even with some right side damage there, he is able to get up and get going. I look back through the field and look at some of those guys that had some unfortunate luck earlier in the race tonight. And looking a little further back, Timothy Latham is running in the 11th position, battling it out right now with Landon Condra. They have both. They're still on the same tire strategy as the rest of the field. But Timothy Latham hanging in there.
Yeah, he's hanging in there strong tonight. Got some damage there on the back end of that machine here, but able to maintain here. Just try to maintain, get a good points night if you can't capitalize, and with the no fast repairs. When you come into pit, if it's on the green flag, you're not going to have a lot of time to get any repair done. So, you got to kind of take what you're dealt with right now. Is looks like he's able to clear him this time by. So Timothy Latham now up to the 10th position, down 7 from where he started here. But as you can see, he's got some damage from that early incident early in the race here tonight. So still battling his way. You got to fight for everything you can get.
That's right. And we see right now the 20 truck of Brandon Zimmerman is on pit road. So this looks like this will start some of your front running drivers with their pit strategy. Brandon Zimmer is running in the top 10, I think around 7th, 8th position. You see him coming down pit road now. So it's always kind of like waiting for the first guy to do it. Who's going to be the first one? It's like popping the seal. So usually when you see the first guy come down to start that undercut, especially if they're running in the top 10 like he was, I have a feeling you will start seeing more and more trucks come down pit road for those 4 fresh fuel goods and 2 cans of Sunoco fuel.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to see Ellison still staying out right now. As you see the 20 come off behind right now of the leader. So he's going to be a good lap, maybe I can't tell yet. I'm gonna have to look this time by at the line to see if it's a lap or
Brooks is
two
on
laps
pit
down.
road as well.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down as they run. So looks like, yep, Dustin Scruggs has come in. So he's made his call a little bit early to come in, try to get some fresh tires here. It's going to move Dane
Jonathan
Cruz
Peele.
back up to second, Clinton Snead up to third, Hoffman up to fourth. So a little change up in the front here, but it's because of pit strategy as they run right now.
Right. Brandon Zimmerman was your first truck in that top 10 to take the pit strategy, and he has brought Timothy Latham, Dustin Scruggs, John Peel, several guys down pit road, and they are coming down to get their services done, get back out on the track. So you'll see a lot of guys that will lose a lap to 2 laps, and that's until the final driver makes their pit stop, especially if somebody like Gabriel Ellison has had this commanding lead all night long. If he stays out, he could really put some damage down to these guys, especially if a caution comes out and trapped almost the entire field.
Yeah, I expect Gabriel Ellison probably to stay out to the midway point, maybe just a little bit more. He knows what his truck is like for 75 laps. He may push it a little bit further. He knows what he's got under the hood. He knows how that truck is handling. So, you split it halfway, you know what to expect for the second half, or maybe even a little bit longer here.
Ooh. Chef, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm getting word Gabriel Ellison coming this time by.
Yeah, he is coming this time by.
You've got several trucks. The 55 coming down as well. Mitch Ellison. It's both the Ellison boys coming down to get their services done. So that right there showed his hand, but there still is, it looks like 5 drivers, possibly, maybe 6, that have yet to pit. I think that's going to move the 49 of Clinton Snead to the lead, Sheffield.
Yeah, it should cycle around to Clinton Snead here. I'm not sure how many laps he's going to probably stay at. He's kind of stuck high side there as you see a couple trucks going down pit road. Cruz is going to be right behind him here. Looking right now, Ellison is still in the pits. So depending where he comes out, he's going to come out right here behind Latham as they run. So once the cycle comes back around, it'll probably move Ellison right back up to the front. And we'll have to see by him pitting at that time what kind of change in the gap he's going to have.
Right, because we only have 3 trucks that have yet to make their pit stop to complete this race. You've got Clinton Snead, Dane Cruz, and Dylan Huffman. Just getting word that looks like Dane Cruz is coming to pit road this time by, so that will just leave the 49 of Clinton Snead and the 15 of Dylan Hoffman as your only 2 trucks out there. And I think really, to be honest with you, Sheffield, the only strategy that it works here is they're banking that somebody has trouble getting on or off pit road and causes a caution.
Yeah, I mean, a caution here would definitely cycle things up, because Snead would be able to get a pit under caution here. Would definitely mix the field up. We're sitting now at lap 80, so we are over the halfway point. And, watching the gap now, as Snead just ran a 25.44, and we'll just go to Ellison here as a reference. About a second, 0.3 is looks like Clinton Snead is coming in this time by.
And he's bringing, is that the 15 of Dylan Hoffman with him? No, I'm sorry. That is Sam Jones in the 45. A little paint damage on the right side made it a little hard to read. But that leaves one driver only that has yet to pit, and that is the 15 of Dylan Huffman. But I think he was losing so much time to the leaders that it would probably be in his best interest to either play that thing bone dry. It's kind of like you've made your strategy, you made your bed, you need to lay in it now.
Yeah, now that you've pit, you've pretty much laid out the rest of your race, barring nothing crazy happens here tonight. It looks like Dylan Hoffman is going to take the lead here. He has not yet come into pit. As you see right now, Gabriel Ellison is going to be scored in second place. So it will cycle back around, but Dustin Scruggs is sticking with him right now. So this might change things up here. As you know, we saw Scruggs make it throughout the field. I'm sure his goal is now not let Ellison get that huge lead and keep commanding, pushing his way up towards the front, trying to capitalize here at Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, and there was a couple of close calls there with the 20 and the 7. Trying to get around the 15. They hit him at the exact same time, so they were all kind of scattering a bit, trying to find the line to where they wouldn't lose so much momentum. And right behind him, you've got Clinton Sneed right there. But like you said, Gabriel Ellison and Dustin Scruggs, that's your first and 2 as soon as he pits. And I think, the 15 is coming this time by. So that will conclude your final driver on the lead lap to do their pit cycle. So when this thing shakes out, you're going to have Gabriel Ellison back to the lead. And within a few tenths of him, though, the 11 of Dustin Scruggs and John Peel in that 7 truck will be your third place finisher.
Yeah, that's going to complete the pit cycles here tonight. Now we've got to see how anybody's going to be able to push here in the second run, gathering that information from their pit cycle here. As we mentioned, Ellison is going to have the lead here. Scruggs has fallen back just a little bit from a few laps ago. Maybe that's a planned strategy. Try to save a little bit of tire here. Use that data that he just got on that stop. As Dane Cruz now will be cycled up to the third. Fourth will be John Peel. And right now, his top 5 as they run right now is Brandon Zimmerman, who was the first one to come down pit road. So he's capitalized on that pretty well here.
Yeah, that is the benefit of doing the undercut, of pitting before everybody else, because you get to go back out there on fresh tires and make up the most ground while everybody else is still running slower lap times. So that has moved him up, I think, 3 positions from where he was before the pit cycle started. So that's a big jump for him up to fifth position right now. But we are getting ready to conclude lap 86, start 87. Man, we are getting close to the end of this. And again, we've only had 1 caution that was on lap 1 for a little dust up. Most of these guys are out there hanging it all out, just trying to get the most they can.
Now that we've completed pit stops here, let's take a small commercial break here, pay some bills real quick, and we'll be right back with the conclusion here from Iowa Speedway.
Let's face it, to build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have 2 options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
All right, race fans, welcome back to Iowa Speedway and Evolution Racing Network. We've had a pretty exciting race here so far. Gabriel Ellison able to just command the lead here and pull away. And anybody just tuned in, we've just completed our pit cycles here. A couple changes, up towards the front from the very start of the race. As we talked about earlier, Dustin Scruggs up 12 positions as he's trying to maintain here. Well, Gabriel Ellison, he said such a middle to late run during that first green flag run there, Ryan. So I'm interested to see what he's going to be able to do here towards the closure tonight.
Yeah, and the one that got kind of snake bit the most would be the 15 of Dylan Hoffman. He stayed out and took a gamble the longest on that pit cycle. I think he was hoping for some type of caution that would kind of help him stay trapped up front, because he went in, I think he was 5th going into that pit cycle, came out a lap down in 9th position. But you can see right there, he is making up a ton of ground on the rest of the field and trying to earn his lap back the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, and Dane Cruz right now running in the third position. Clinton Sneed will be in fourth as they run. Fifth will be the number 7 of John Peel. Sixth is Brandon Zimmerman. Seventh is Forrest Bullen. 8, as you just mentioned, is Dylan Hoffman. 9th is Mitch Ellison. And rounding out your top 10 is Timothy Latham, who had that early dust up here. Got some damage on the truck, but still able to maintain a top 10 run here so far.
Yeah. And you know what? These guys have been so respectful of one another because you have several different people on different pit strategies. They're on different tire management. And so they're coming at you at such different levels of speed. And these guys are doing a very good job being respectful of one another and allowing the faster truck to get around. And it has allowed the field to pretty much encompass the entire track. Single file throughout the entire track, taken up. So there's a good amount of space between all of them. Not a lot of real close battles. You know, I think the closest battle is going to be between your leaders up front, which is about a 2.7 to 3.0 second differential between first and second. Gabriel Ellison has taken the pole and has not looked back since.
Yeah, he's had a strong run. Came in a little over 3 seconds there during the pit cycle. Good run. I'm sure he's looking at the data there. But, you know, you talk about the ability for everybody to cycle through. That is just running around each other long enough to know in a league how each one drives, what one prefers over the other. And, you know, these newer guys have done an excellent job of coming in here, learning really fast in their second week in the race, in the league here, as far as the official race is concerned, and able to just get in here with these guys, pick it up pretty quickly, and, you know, learn how each other drives and you know, take advantage of it and you know, learn from each other is another key thing here that you see a lot in a lot of league races.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you learn a lot from running lap after lap after lap next to another driver. You learn what the threshold is. How close can I get to him? What is he going to do when I want to try a slide job or if I'm trying to side draft on him? And you don't get that any other way but with repetition and running next to these guys week after week. You know, most of these guys were here in season 1. We've watched them drive for weeks. It's good to see them back in season 2. And, you know, it's shaping up to be a heck of a season because last week we had 0 cautions. Tonight we've only had 1 on lap 1, and we have gone 100 laps since caution free. So we've got about 49 laps to go tonight. And I'm curious to see if Gabriel Ellison is going to keep this domination up again tonight.
Yeah, you know, looking at what we've seen so far in the run, wouldn't surprise me. He's done a good job of just maintaining a good solid pace here. He knows probably what the tire runoff's going to be, as we mentioned, you know, looking at the data from the first run, just able to pull away here. They gave him a little advantage here coming through the pit cycle there, you know, what gap he had there coming into the pits. Did a good job on pit road of being able to maintain that gap here. And Iowa is a tough track to get around. Very easy to overdrive it in the corners, slide up the track here. So it takes a lot of discipline to get around this track. And, you know, for 150 laps around here, these guys are in the zone.
Yeah, and you've got to be. That's the thing. It's hard to stay focused for some people like myself. It's hard to stay focused for 150 laps with no cautions, just this constant repetition of going around and around and around. But the slightest little mishap, the slightest little mistake, you miss your corner, you hit that big bump in turn 1 and disrupt the truck's balance, you could be in the wall and throw your whole race out the window in a matter of a second.
Yeah, all it takes is one corner and your whole night is ruined. You know, just you got to focus on the hood pins and what's going on in front of you. As you say, any little distraction there can ruin your night. Something going off to the side, or something going on in the background, can definitely throw you off your game. But these guys done a great job, all during season one and continuing here in season two, putting on great clean races, race after race after race. And you know it's exciting to come in to a new season here with these guys. I'm so grateful that they brought us back in this season, and got some new drivers out here that it's a tall, small, tight knit community in our racing. As many drivers are on the service, it's amazing when you go from one league to another. It names you either run with or you've heard of before, so it's always fun, especially this broadcasting side of it.
Oh yeah, it's awesome to be able to go and see so many different names and faces throughout the sim, and watch the different talent levels. And we talked earlier about the domination of certain drivers like Gabriel Ellison, but you also look at your second and third place drivers are also your biggest movers of the night. Second place, Dustin Scruggs started 14th. Third place, Dane Cruz started 11th. So that's your two biggest movers of the night, doing a dominating job as well, because they've gotten up there and they have not looked back. Before we get too far into this, because this race will be over in no time, Sheffield, we also need to thank our broadcast partner network sponsors, Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. If you're needing and feel that you're missing just the one element to your sim rig that would bring it all together, it's probably a Butt Kicker if you don't already have one. The new Gamer 2 setup is an immersion that allows you to feel the vibration, and it just brings that fifth and final element to your entire rig with the feeling of vibrations and movement. So it is absolutely awesome. Look them up on Facebook, The Butt Kicker, and check them out, because they will give you that final piece that you've been needing. We also want to thank SNC Transport and Sheffield Graphics and or Nissan Central, all of our other primary sponsors that help make this broadcast network such a great place to call a race.
Yeah, those sponsors come in a huge play every week in and week out. Not only for us on Thursday nights, but Tuesday nights, every night of the week that we broadcast. As you mentioned, Butt Kicker, we had a huge giveaway last week here. We gave away that Butt Kicker Gamer 2. And, it's great to have those guys on board, bring the support. And not only for us, they support so many things going on in our racing. Week after week, and their customer support is above and beyond. Mm-hmm. You reach out to them, they get back to you ASAP. So, huge shout out to those guys. They put in the work and they stand behind their product.
But you can tell that they are a company built by people that use their equipment, not just building a piece of equipment and nobody cares about it because they don't use it. You can tell how, and that all comes through their customer service. And there's a lot of companies out there like that. Some of the great sponsors of this league, Delta Cam, Sneed, Competition Design, and Sim Racer Hub, all the same. That's why these companies are so great to partner with, whether it be in a league or in the broadcasting side of things. They do a great job. And just so everybody knows, we will be giving away another Butt Kicker Gamer 2 setup in the coming months. And we'll be announcing that live on air during our broadcast on a Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night. So make sure you check us out on Facebook and YouTube at Evolution Racing Network. Stay tuned for our next giveaway. Back to racing though. Gabriel Ellison dominating like he has done so many times in the past. Well, he just concluded lap 116, starting 117 out of 150. And he is checked out, but don't count out Dustin Scruggs, because not just 5-10 laps ago, Gabriel had a 3.5 second lead. Well, Dustin Scruggs is starting to kind of slowly move in. He's down to about a 2.5, 2.7 second deficit. So We'll see if he's going to have enough time and enough tire to get to Gabriel. It's going to be one thing catching him, another thing getting around him.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Is catching and getting around him is going to be two different things. We saw in the ARCA race early in the running, hard to get around. 2.7 seconds here. Looking at the times, leader with the 25.15 lap before, 25.32 for Dustin Scruggs. Right now, Dane Cruz ran a 25.12. This time by 25.20. So all the top four roughly are running around the same times, well within a half of a tenth of each other. With 32 to go here, as the leader takes a line. It'll be 31 to go tonight from Iowa.
Yeah, and Clinton Sneed, we talked to him earlier after the ARCA race. He was one of our podium finishers, and he was really looking forward and circled Iowa tonight as one of the tracks that he looks forward to, and he has made his way up to fourth position, about 9.8 seconds back from the leader. I don't see these guys race so good and so clean and respectful on the track. I don't see a lot of dust-ups and a lot of big caution counts, towards the end of the race here. It's really just going to come down to that late tire run, and does anybody have enough to get up to Gabriel Ellison, much less get around him. So we'll have to wait and see as it coming to the line. 29 laps to go here at Iowa. From the Thursday night Throwdown Truck Series, and I'm really starting to look back in the field though, Sheffield. We've got a little battle here between the 7 of John Peel and the 15 of Dylan Hoffman. These guys are right there. Dylan Hoffman has been kind of toying with the idea of going high, going low. Let's see if he can find a way to get around John Peel and take away another spot to get to the top 5.
Yeah, there's a good battle going on. Clinton Sneed now, as we talked about, always a front runner. He's working his way now. He's in that fourth position, trying to work his way up here late in the running. It's just, we talk about him week after week after week, and the ARCA series, earlier tonight, great run for him there. The key thing here earlier in the season, all season long, is just try to get those strong finishes. Do the best you can week after week. Looking forward to the long run. Got a lot of races left to go, and those points really add up for those positions.
Well, and I have to mention that I misspoke earlier. I thought Wayne Lowe had packed it up and sent it home for the night. He must have had quite a bit of required damage, but he is back out on the track now, several laps down. But that could be the difference at the end of the season, Sheffield, about making a position or making it to the next spot at the end of the season for a vital spot at the end. So him coming back out several laps down shows a lot of determination.
Yeah, a lot of determination for him to come back out, especially with what I saw what looked like a power outage for him. It's great. Come back out, try to get a couple more laps in, maybe, depending on how things fall, get another position, if he can. Hey, come out, get some laps here. If it doesn't go your way, get you some seat time here, because that's always the valuable thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's coming. Inside 25 to go. You know what that means, Sheffield? That means it's time for us to pick our winners. So while we kind of put our heads together and figure out who we think is going to win this thing, we need everybody in the chat out there in YouTube world. Make sure you post up in the chat right now. Who do you think is going to win tonight? Is Gabriel Ellison got, is there anybody that's got anything left for him? Is he just going to run away with it? Or does Dustin Scruggs, Dane Cruz, or even Clinton Sneed going to get up there and give him a fight? You guys make sure you post in the chat who do you think is going to win tonight. In Sheffield, who's your pick?
No surprise here. I'm going to have to go with Gabriel Ellison. The pace he's been setting. 2.6 seconds ahead here. 22 to go. Yeah. Just looking at lap times, they're all so close together, the top three. top 4, top 5, top 6, all within less than a tenth of each other. So I don't see any change.
Yeah, and hey, look, that's obvious. I think this guy has dominated it from the time he got the pole in qualifying to now. He hasn't, he's checked out and said, see you later. But I have been listening to the radio chatter here recently. There has been several close calls of people dusting up against the wall, lap traffic becoming a factor, a couple of close calls with the faster trucks trying to get around them. So I am going to bank that there is going to be something that Dustin Scruggs can come in tonight and take that 11 truck to the lead and get a victory. So I'm going to go with Dustin Scruggs running second place right now at about 2.4 seconds back.
Yeah, a great run from him tonight. Dane Cruz, another great run from him. Iowa, single file, long run, you're going to see the tires, who's able to maintain here. And as we just said, Gabriel has just took that lead, got out to a big gap here, able to maintain it through the pit cycle. He's on the hot streak. Last week's winner. So he's always going to be a factor to contend with.
Yeah, he is. And, we go to an opposite style track, to say the least, at a super speedway next week at Talladega, where these guys are going to be putting it all out there, foot to the floor, nonstop. And it's not going to be about how well you manage your tires, that's for sure. It's going to be how many friends do you have on the track, and when you make your move, you better be ready and you better have people to go with you. So I can't wait for next week as we watch both the ARCA and the Truck Series hit the high banks of Talladega. But tonight we are 17 laps to go here at Iowa for some short track action. And I don't know. I don't think anybody has anything for Gabriel. He has been managing the lap traffic flawlessly tonight. And if you get a close-up of that truck, it's perfect. It looks as clean as it did when they pulled it off the hauler this morning.
Yeah, literally no damage there on that truck here tonight. Looking through the field here, Dustin Scruggs, as we mentioned, running in second. Third is Dane Cruz. Fourth right now as they run is Clinton Sneed. Fifth is Dylan Hoffman. Sixth is Brandon Zimmerman. Seventh is John Peel. Eighth is Forrest Bullen. Ninth is Mitch Ellison, and Timothy Latham still holding that 10th position with the damage there on the truck.
Hey, that's commendable as well. We talked about, Wayne Lowe coming back after having that power outage and clicking off some laps. Timothy Latham, that is such I cannot tell you, until you've been in that experience, it is so hard to put into words how frustrating it is to come out, get practice, prepare, strategize for a race, and then have something happen that was not your fault on lap one, and then have to come back out and just grind it out. But he's done an incredible job to get a top 10 finish, which will help him in the points. As we come by, the next time by, it'll be 12 laps to go here at Iowa. And we pretty much have every single driver that started this race out running, with the exception of Frank Hughes.
Yeah, everybody driver just, out here, like you said, with the exception of Frank Hughes. Wayne Lowe has come back out. Torrey Thompson is still battling there, quite a few laps down here. But he's still got here getting that valuable, as we talk about, the valuable seat time here. Every, vehicle is different in this service. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to everything. And, these trucks, depending on the setup, may handle differently from one time you hear to the next time. So it's just learning, a lot of this is learning about where you need to turn in, where you can get the speed, and then finding what you've got in that individual setup that you're running that night.
Oh, you ain't lying. Yeah, we used to come out here, and I used to be one of those naive drivers that would come out to Iowa in an ARCA car and then turn around and do it in a Cup car and expect that the same line, the same throttle control, the same braking points, the car would drive the same. Oh, boy, was I so misinformed. This track is a very character-driven track. every single style of vehicle has something different to show on it. You know, we're watching Gabriel Ellison here run away with this thing, but he has got a pack of 3 lap trucks right in front of him. Dylan Hoffman, the 88 there of Troy Thompson, and then another truck right in front of him. So will that be a determining factor tonight? We'll just have to wait and see, because he's got lap trucks running side by side right in front of him coming out of 4.
Yeah, lap trucks running side by side, they may come into effect here. I'll have to see how they sort themselves out here in the next lap or so.
I don't think anybody wants to be, the reason a race turned out differently. But sometimes when you have 2 trucks running side by side, there's just only so much you can do. You can't just slam on your brakes to get out of the way. You have to kind of wait for your moment. But you see these guys sorted out. Gabriel Ellison is hunting down the next truck in front of him, the 15 of Dylan Hoffman, which is for 5th place, which means that Gabriel Ellison has lapped the entire field with the exception of the top 5. So we have 7 laps to go, and these guys, it seems like that it's starting to ratchet up. With 10 to go, that's when the adrenaline starts getting amped back up. That's when the excitement, because now it's like, okay, the race is almost over. I have a shot, and let's just see, and let's just hurry and get this thing over with so I can get a good finish. And you see a lot of incidents take place, and, unfortunately, in the last 10 laps for that very reason.
Yeah, and Gabriel Ellison right now is just counting the laps down.
Yep.
Each time he comes by. So, not going to say it. Don't want to say it.
Nope.
Not even going to think about it.
Nope.
But, he's got a couple lap trucks in front of him. I don't suspect anything. He's just on cruise control right now. He's improved his gap there to 4.2 seconds as they run right now. Pretty much top 5 stay the same. Gabriel Ellison, Dustin Scruggs, Dane Cruz, Clinton Sneed, and Dylan Hoffman round out your top 5.
Yeah, and Clint Sneed has made up a lot of ground on Dane Cruz. I think he's going to run out of time with 4 laps to go, but he has got it within a second of Dane there. You can see the 2 truck of Forrest Bullen in between them. But that actually slowed Dane up just a tick, and that allowed Clinton to catch back up. I think it's going to be too little too late for these guys, as we are 3 laps to go here at Iowa to get that final podium finish.
Yeah, 3 laps to go here. Gabriel Ellison out to a comfortable lead. Like I said, he's just looking past his hood pins right now. Gap between second and third is about 5 seconds. So as they run right now, your podium finishers will be Gabriel Ellison, Dustin Scruggs, and Dane Cruz. This time by should be the white flag, I believe. This time by.
That's right. Yep. That'll be the white flag right now for Gabriel Ellison as he is finishing his final laps. He just needs to hit his marks for 4 corners, and he will come out and have dominated for 150 laps from flag to flag. Nobody had nothing for the 27 truck of Gabriel Ellison tonight as he goes through 3 and 4 right now to come down that front straightaway. And tonight's victory at Iowa Speedway. Congratulations to Gabriel Ellison. Wow. Wow. Sheffield, there's nobody had nothing for him, man.
Showed how dominant he was in the first run there, and just able to continue it here on the second. We'll have a chance to talk to these top 3 guys here in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll have your official results and your top 3 interviews here on Evolution Network.
I started Folds of Honor above my garage 13 years ago because 90% of spouses and children of killed or disabled U.S. service members receive no federal education assistance. Our mission has never wavered. We honor their sacrifices by educating their legacy.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thanks to you, I will be a construction engineer.
An elementary school teacher.
Thank you for helping me fulfill my dream of going to med school.
We're able to award these scholarships because patriots like you refuse to turn your back on the cost of freedom. Join the Folds of Honor Squadron today. Your $13 a month will help ensure we never turn military families away. This is your call to duty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thanks to people like you, I know my dad is not forgotten.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
To build a new website or redesign your existing site, you have two options. You can start by learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SEO, SQL, CMS, well, you get the idea. Or you can be smarter and look for someone who is a professional in web design like Sneed Competition Design. We are experienced in building quality websites for our clients. We always start with strategy and planning to build a clear vision about what you need. Your website will then be passed on to the design and development phase, where we will ensure that you get a fully responsive design that is easy to use regardless of any device using the latest tools in web development. Contact us today, and let's talk about accelerating your business to the next level by creating a complete online solution.
Welcome back, everybody, to Iowa Speedway here with the Thursday night Throwdown Truck Series. Gabriel Ellison dominated all night long. But before we get to talk to the winner tonight, let's talk to our other podium finishers and see if we can't get the third place finisher, Dane Cruz, in that 46 truck. Let's see if we can get him on the horn here. Dane Cruz, this is Ryan and Michael up in the ERN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
What's going on, brother?
That felt like a long race right there. I really had nothing for anyone who could actually save their tires today. I was destroying them. I could not figure it out. I thought it was really fast. I thought it was really fast, and then just we got towards the end of that fuel run, and I was just struggling super hard. So I don't know.
Well, you did a great job, and especially to maintain, because Clinton Sneed was coming up there, but you were able to maintain that distance between you and him, which is not an easy feat to do because Clinton Sneed knows how to save tires. So don't give yourself, don't be too hard on yourself. You did a great job tonight with the podium finish. Have you had any experience here at Iowa Speedway in those trucks for these long runs to go 149 laps caution free like this?
I've only done a couple races at Iowa in the trucks, and usually that's with like 50% fuel or 70%, so I don't really have these long of runs, and it gets tighter as the fuel burns off, so it was just the struggle bus as the run ended. But
you did great, man. You really did, and we watched all of you guys. There were some struggles there on that very first lap. You were able to avoid that. You got up front. You did a great job through your pit cycle there. Came back out pretty much in third place and held it for the back half of that race. So great job there, man. Before we let you go, I want to kind of bring up next week. Are you looking forward to Talladega? Because it's definitely a unique style of racing out there. Are you looking forward to it? Tell us what your thoughts are.
Hopefully I can game some points on Gabriel, because apparently I can't beat him at these tracks that actually take talent. So just gonna keep going, I guess. Try to not to crash next week and come out with a good finish.
There you go. Survival is the name of the game at a track like Talladega. Well, brother, before we let you go and let you go celebrate your podium finish tonight, I always want to throw the mic over to you and allow you to give any shout outs, sponsor plugs, any thank you. So, Dane, the mic is yours.
First of all, I want to say sorry to Clinton because down in turn 3 on the final lap, I downshifted a second. He just ran right in the back of me, so I cost us both probably some bonus points there. So my bad to him. And then I got Precision Designs and Precision Race Setups to thank, Glitch Energy and Surfshark.
Awesome. Well, Dane, go have a great week. We look forward to talking to you next week at Talladega. And congratulations again on your podium finish.
Thank you.
Well, that's our third place finisher, Dane Cruz. Before we get to our winner tonight, let's see if we can't get Dustin Scruggs on the horn and see if him and Michael have a word.
Hey, Dustin, this is Michael and Ryan up in the ERN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, we saw you battle your way up 12 positions from your starting spot here. You had a good long run truck here tonight. Just came up a little bit short. How was the truck here tonight? And, importantly, what were you able to do here tonight to gain all those positions here after the start?
Well, the first thing you got to do is not qualify, so that'll put you in the back. I had the fastest lap time in practice. This is one of my better tracks. That's why I kind of came in tonight and was like, I'll give it a shot here. So I missed qualifying for some technical difficulties, and then just had to work my way back up and just try to keep my tires as much as possible, using the brake bias, moving them to the back of the truck, and trying to keep as much front tires that I could. So,
well, great run here tonight. Bring home second place here. As you mentioned, you had a very fast truck. Great pit stop for you tonight. Good run, complete different animal next week. Talking draft, we're talking Talladega. How you feeling going into there?
Well, it's Talladega, so you never know what to expect. You just try to hold your line and play it smart, but there's definitely never a safe spot on that track. You could be in the back or the front, the middle, it don't matter. 50-50 chance of finishing the race. So,
well, good luck to you next week. Hopefully, your strategy works out well for you. Before we let you go here, we always give you the microphone one last time. Let you thank any of your sponsors, family, friends, anybody out there you want to say thanks to. The microphone's all yours.
All right. Appreciate it. Of course, I thank my company, Prosper Engineering, for supporting me, my parents' company, Carpet Express, Mountain Lake Estate, which is a beautiful Airbnb in Georgia. They always are supporting my cause. And then primaryauto.com down in Georgia also. They sell great SUVs and off-road vehicles, and it's a great place to shop. They even deliver them all the way up to Tennessee. So,
well, good luck to you next week, Talladega, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more as the season goes on here. Great run tonight, second place finish. Hope you have a good week, and look forward to seeing you next week on track.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too.
Well, that's our second place finisher there. He sounded excited, sounds pumped up for next week. I really do think that we're going to see a very different style of racing amongst the drivers of TNT next week at Talladega. You might see some people with some hurt feelings, and you're going to see definitely a lot of teamwork. So let's see if we can't get our winner of tonight's race that led all 150 laps here, Gabriel Ellison, on the horn. Gabriel, this is Ryan and Michael up in the ERN booth. You got a copy?
Yes.
What's going on, champ?
Nothing much.
Bro, you put on a clinic tonight. 150 laps from flag to flag. You never looked back. You even let a couple of guys undercut you on that pit cycle, but they had nothing for you. How did you do it?
Yeah, well, it definitely helped that on the first lap we had two of some of the fastest trucks on the track. They got into each other in turn 3 there. So, that always helps.
Sure.
And I Scruggs, he was fast too, and he missed qualifying, so he started in the back. So that helped. But here, man, it's just all about saving the right front. I mean, this track is brutal on the right front, and I just kind of was hitting my marks and rolling through the corner, saving that right front to make sure, because I know a lot of guys were struggling towards the end of both those long runs there. And if as long as you keep the right front on it, you can just arc the corner, roll, and get a good run off. So most of that was tire conservation and making sure I picked my way through lap traffic nice and patient.
Well, you basically wrote the book on tire management at Iowa driving the Camping World trucks. You did a phenomenal job. Your lap times from the start of the run to the middle of the run to late in the run were incredible. We didn't see these drastic fall-offs like we did on several of the other drivers. And of course, you guys putting on such clean and competitive racing. It's your second week in a row in victory lane. This is second week in a row. There was that lap one dust up between a couple of drivers, but we went all last week and then 149 laps tonight, caution free, which is incredible for any league, any amount of drivers. So you truly are a master at putting on a clinic for these drivers. Do you think anybody has anything for you in the coming weeks? And what do you think about Talladega when it goes from individual car driving to team driving?
Yeah, man, there's definitely some guys in here that got something for me. Like they got in a wreck, and week one there was competitive too. So I don't doubt. If they didn't get in that dust up lap one, I think it was going to be a really good race there, and it still was a good race. But I'm definitely not relaxing myself at all as far as taking it easy. As far as Talladega goes, it's kind of a roulette wheel a little bit, but team racing too. That's a big part of it. And I got my brother on my team and some guys I've known for a long time. So we all rate. Well, I'm sure we'll all work together really well. As far as that, the biggest thing there is just keeping the truck clean, keeping the air damage off, and try to go for it at the end.
Yep, you got to stay out of the messes and be present to win if you're going to make it to the end. Man, Gabriel, you guys did an incredible job putting on a great show tonight. Dominating fashion as usual. Go and celebrate it with your team. But before we do, I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to give your shout outs, your thank yous, any of your sponsor plugs. I'm going to turn the mic over to you now and let you knock that out.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks to Evolution Racing Network for broadcasting the series here. Big thanks to Sim Racer Hub for sponsoring the Pole Award, and as well as our series sponsor, Delta Camshafts. I really appreciate them coming on board for the season. Also, Sneed Competition Design. And thanks to all my teammates there. That's the biggest group we've had in the Discord. I had Forrest, Landon, Mitch, and Clinton all there. So
there you go.
Appreciate all them. And just thanks for everybody racing this week. Looking forward to next week.
Awesome. Well, go and celebrate your victory tonight. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you next week at Talladega.
Yeah, thank you.
That right there, Gabriel Ellison, your first place winner again for the second week in a row here at the Thursday night Throwdown.
Yeah, a great run from him tonight. Just commanding finish, as we talked about. Able to set that pace early, able to maintain it coming off pit road. As you mentioned, champion for a reason for last season. While we're talking about, let's take a look here at the finishing results here for the night. As you just interviewed, Gabriel Ellison is your winner. Second was Dustin Scruggs. Third was Dane Cruz. Fourth was Clinton Sneed at number 49. Fifth went to Dylan Hoffman at number 15. Sixth is Brandon Zimmerman in the 20. Seventh is Forrest Bullen in the number 2. Eighth is John Peel in the number 7.
That's right. And in ninth position, Mitch Ellison, Gabriel's brother. 10th, Timothy Latham in that 5 truck. Great finish for him. Landon Condra in 11th. 12th, Sam Jones. 13th, Brian Skidmore. 14th, Torrey Thompson. 15th, Wayne Lowe. And 16th, Frank Hughes, rounding out your field tonight at Iowa.
Yeah, a great race again here tonight. ARCA series didn't disappoint. Truck series never disappoints. These guys put it in week in and week out, and as you mentioned, next week Talladega, a complete different package. You're gonna have to have some help there.
Yeah, you sure are. You're going to have to make sure that you didn't make any enemies up to this point, because that's the one time that you can get hung out to dry for sure. Well, I want to make sure that we mention before you close out tonight, Sheffield, that we mention on Monday, right at 7:55 Eastern, the Adrenaline Rush Racing League will be right here on Evolution Racing Network on our Facebook page. Again, that is Adrenaline Rush Racing Leads on Evolution Racing Network right here on our Facebook page. At about 7:55 Eastern, you're talking about top-notch drivers. This is the elite of the elite in the Camping World Trucks.
Yeah, I look forward to those on Monday nights. Fortunately, I'm one of the guys in the race here. Always a fun league. Always fun to run with those guys. So I'm looking forward to that. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in out there tonight here on YouTube. Remember to check us out on Facebook. Like and follow us both on Facebook and YouTube and be notified every time we go live. We do this, and I hope everyone out there likes it. If you do, please leave any comments or suggestions you've got for us. We'll definitely get to them. But for Ryan Azell, this is Michael Sheffield. We look forward to catching you next week here on Evolution Racing Network.
See you, boys.